All right. And finally, we have Jerome, who is actually a part of our Rise Realty team.
Good morning.
And morning, how you doing?
Yes, it's a small
So
world.
it is a small world. So Jerome works with Revive, and so they do if you have a home that needs some pre-listing renovations, small or big. There's a few companies out there. I've been seeing them shift to, hey, we don't do these pay at close anymore. You're gonna need to take a loan out or something like that in order to get this done. So actually, another one of our agents, Leo, was scouring around because he has that exact scenario right now and came across Jerome, and everybody connected each other. So thanks for finding Jerome, Leo, and Jerome. Thanks for coming on today, and let's see what you
Yeah,
got to provide.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a small world. I was actually doing some homework because I had heard that Free Model was no longer offering this pay at close option. And so I went to Google, and I think Rise Realty was the third one that showed up. And I saw a picture of Travis, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a pretty good connection to Rise Realty. I should talk to these guys. And that week, Leo scheduled an appointment and we connected. So yeah, it worked out great. I'm happy to be here. My name is obviously Jerome. I'm a property advisor at Revive, also licensed and hung at Rise Realty. I've been lucky to do a few commercial deals on the side this year, but I like to do renovations. And so we are going to talk a little bit about that, but there is this, solution that we have for your clients, right? Which is a whole nother thing, right? And so we'll get into that if you want one-on-one time with me, just like Leo did. And we can really dive into that if you have a specific seller or a specific listing. But today we're really just talking about how agents use Revive to help them win more listings. Um, and I'm going to share my screen here. And I highlight that it's all about just giving you guys tools to help you win more. And a lot of times, with how competitive it is, I apologize for this typo on stay competitive with selling solutions. It's obviously about having different solutions for different situations that you come across as far as sellers or depending on their needs. Mainly everybody wants the same thing, right? Either to make the most of profit, most money, highest price, or just the most of their situation, right? And so the only real question, um, maybe as an agent or at least in, deciding strategy is time, right? Time, a lack of time, a lack of money makes you do kind of crazy things. And so if your clients have time, right, you're obviously going to take them to market and get them the best price possible. The only question is like sometimes the home just needs a little bit of stuff. Sometimes the home needs a lot of stuff, right? As far as renovations go. Either way, you can showcase that you have a pay at close solution. This is a white labeled one pager highlighting the program that's completely branded to you and to Rise Realty. Um, there's no minimums, no maximums. It's 12 months to pay it back, and there's no credit qualifying. This is 100% equity based as far as the program goes. Um, but we really don't want you to get into too much of that because if you ever need help, if you ever have a client interested with any of these, it's about scheduling a meeting and then us creating a game plan together and covering the program together. So, this isn't about selling Revive, it's about showcasing you have a pay at close solution, whether they need the money, whether the house needs the improvement. You can showcase that you have a pay at close solution to hopefully then win the listing, and then we'll figure it out, right? Once that happens. So sometimes people don't have time or money, right? And they do some crazy things like not use a real estate agent and sell their home off market to an investor or a wholesaler or, open door, whatever. This, if it, it's about providing options. And so you can showcase that you have an alternate to those solutions. So if they are considering selling for cash because they're going to leave 100 grand on the table, right? Because they need the money within 5 days or 2 weeks, right? You have a solution other than that, which will give them some equity up front right away, settle their solution or their issue. Then we'll flip the house, hire you to be the agent, and give them the profit from the flip after we're done. Okay. So we'll settle all the numbers and we'll show you how the figures shake out and we'll present it to your client together. Um, but that's a two-check system. So you can realize some of the profits from your home if you're also short on time. Either way, you can provide this condensed report that shows the home's current value, its potential value, all the different selling solutions, all branded to you. A little snapshot of the market. You can generate these materials if you just download our app or go to our website. You can create your dashboard, which I'm just going to do. I want to make sure I'm good on time, but Travis mentioned to maybe go through the demo as well. Um, it's pretty straightforward. If you want to get out your QR code, I'll leave this up for just a second. And maybe if we just pause right now, I don't know, Travis, do we do a Q&A here or is it, I
Oh
guess if
yeah, you
there's
can. I mean, if anybody
questions,
has
put
any
them in the
questions,
chat.
toss them in the chat or raise your hand. Um, and then we can answer a few questions if anybody wants to get this app added real quick so you can go through the demo part of it. So I like the
Yep.
materials. That's nice to bring along, especially if you're going to be doing any, a good listing, um, hook, I guess, market for, marketing to get listings is a cash, a quick close, cash offer, and stuff like that, which obviously is an option here with Revive. But what you'll find with a lot of those homeowners is they don't really like that cash offer. And what they really need to do is put a little money in the house to get a better, to get to the price that they want to get to. So, and this still solves, um, that type of scenario. So, if you're thinking about doing any marketing for listings, the quick cash close offer is good because it leads into other things, all of which you would be able to, um, facilitate
Right.
through this one company here. So I'll let you go ahead and keep going. We probably anybody who's
Yeah.
going to doubt has probably done it.
Yeah, and then just as you were talking about, there's certain things we do to help break down a home and just understand, are we trying to protect value here, right? Because what we don't want to do is underspend or overspend, right? You got to spend the right amount on the right things, and helping to understand if that opportunity is there, can it be captured, about increasing the value. But if it's not, there are things that are just going to end up costing us money anyway in escrow, right? Why not get ahead of it, help yourselves out in negotiations, right? By not having this laundry list of issues. And then we'll front the money and have the homeowner just pay it off once the project or once the house sells. So super straightforward and easy. I just wanted to get back into the dashboard. If you pop in online, this is what it looks like. I just, you have a difference here between AI reports, which is the reports that you can run on any property. So if you know, this is an example of what the report looks like. This top number on any report you run, you can run 100 of these today. No, and it's all good. Like, it's free. You can keep running them. If you say, if you get a homeowner that responds and they're like, hey, I want to know how my home could be worth this much money, then just submit it as a project, and then it'll cause Revive to come reach out to you and try to schedule an appointment to discuss the opportunity with the seller. This report has a lot of cool stuff in it. Once you upload photos of the home, it will give you an as is value. If you send this to a prospect and they create it with your lead capture page that we create for you. So just by opening up your account here with us, you can get access to this lead capture page. which is an AI report from Revive's data and everything is generated, but it's delivered from you. And Rise Realty is in the corner, and then it's your headshot, your contact information, but then they put in their address and phone number, and it's a lead capture. So you can paste that link anywhere in social media, and it will always drive people here. There's another way if you go to your marketing center and you like this is all marketing material that would be branded for you guys and whatever you want, whether it's postcards, these door flyers are a huge success. You can grab your QR code here and you could paste that anywhere you're doing marketing, on handouts, on door-to-door flyers, on shopping carts, on billboards, whatever. And when people scan it, it'll take them to your landing page lead capture form to generate a Revive AI report that's created by us but delivered by you. Let me see here. Coming back here within this Revive AI report, once you're in the report, if a seller is interacting with the report, like they click create a plan, finalize offer, or they go to upload photos, we text you and send you a text message saying, hey, there's high engagement activity going on with one of your prospects with their AI report. You should call them, help fill them out the report. Get the whole goal is to help get belly to belly, kneecap to kneecap, right? Get to the kitchen table. So you can get that view here. If you work with buyers, let me go. There's Renovision, which will automatically give a rendering of what the space could look like remodeled. So if you're at an open house and you want to snap a photo and then have them tell you their design style, it will generate a picture um, of what that place would look like remodeled, which is pretty cool. Again, it's just a tool to get more prospects engaged. The Revive AI report is, a hook, right? The top number it comes up with there is sort of a teaser, right? And it will be different if you need to edit it. You can edit it before you send it, right? But it does just use the data to give you that report. And then once they upload photos, it gives you an as is value. It uses photos to do a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff with AI to just um, give an appropriate assessment. It's pretty accurate overall. And the marketing center is just use tools, have flyers, use different things to help explain or have leave behinds for this product. You get all branded to you just to help you guys um, offer more solutions and win more listings. And if one out of those four listings needs pay at close, we're in a pretty good position, we feel like. So Travis, is there anything else that I maybe you learned here about this or that I could dive into a little deeper that would be helpful for the team?
No, I do like the marketing solutions. How long have you guys been doing that?
That's been a couple years that we've been generating these. The lead capture form is brand new. It came out last month to be able to generate this and use it as a way to drive in prospects.
Hmm.
Um, and then Renovision just came out as well. Um, but the marketing center has been very helpful for a lot of agents just to, have a leave behind that explains solutions. And then if it works to engage, we'll connect with you. We'll create a game plan and then we'll present together. You're never going to be on your own presenting any of the Revive solutions to your sellers. We're a digital first experience. So we set up a virtual meeting and we just cover it in detail. And then if they want to move forward after a conversation with you post meeting, terrific. Um, but we're about being an extension of your sales, um, about your sales like strategy for different sellers. And then once we have a project or two under our belt with you, you can actually like we'll put you into the house because as you can imagine, people come to us directly because we're using that lead capture form and we're doing social media and different things. But when a homeowner comes to us directly, we have a Revive Edge program where we'll then put you in the house. Okay, but before you contact me to sign up for this program, you have to do a deal. Like we have to do a project with one of your sellers to either renovate their home ahead of time or the sell 360 program. Um, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
so
Revive.
that's
I
interesting.
appreciate your time this morning.
So let's say somebody has you know, a home seller that could be interested in this. What does that look like as far as the agent? So obviously they're going to make maybe an introduction here, or do they have the client go directly to the site, or like and then how does that connection between the agent and that client remain with Revive so that
Yep.
everybody knows that they're connected?
The first thing I would do is make a Revive AI report under your account is the first thing with that address because that immediately timestamps it and lets us know when it arrived in our system and from who. And then once that's created, you can obviously analyze the report, but at any point in time, once the homeowner expresses interest and to your point, like wants to get started or find out more, you just submit it as a project. And then this has an intake depending on which, you know, solution they want to learn more about so that it schedules it right. You just enter in the address it'll upload photos if you need the photos, but it all starts with creating the report and then making it a project because those are two different things. You could run 100 reports today and only our tech team will know about it. But you create a project, sales, property advisors, my whole team, we're on it to connect with you to see what we can do to help either create the game plan, right? Because it always starts with you and us connecting on a pro to pro, is what we call them, to evaluate the property assessment. We want to analyze the values, the investment, what the bottom line number would be to the seller. Is this worth presenting to them at all? Will it help you present? Do you need me to be the bad guy about price or investor pricing, et cetera, et cetera? But we create a team sort of approach, whether you have the listing or don't, right? Let me know. And if it's a meeting to help you win the listing, let's go. Let's win it, right? But we do that game planning ahead of time so that we make good use of your client's time and also can ensure that it's a wise investment to even propose before we schedule the meeting with them.
Right. And we did have a question come up, which I may have seen on that previous screen. So it says, I know this is seller centric, but let's say a seller goes through the process but doesn't want to do this pre-sale, and we have a buyer who wants to do this rehab. Is the loan available for buyers to use post-closing to complete those repairs and remodeling to increase the value and then pay your Revive loan off with a cash out refi? Is that how the flow would work on that, or?
Um, I think, yeah. So as far as the buyer goes, let's say the seller goes. Um, yeah. So we're working on a buyer program like this that when the buyer wants to do the rehab. Um, but I guess I mean if if we had our projections right and we said the home will be worth 1.4 after we're done and the buyer agrees to buy it for 1.4, I guess. But see, it's not a loan. So I the thing is like our pay at close solution is secured through a deed of trust against the property. So there's no origination of a loan for us in our strategy in our program. So it does stick to us kind of either we secure our renovation through a deed of trust on the property, which is the renovate to sell program. So we that's the pay at close model. Um,
Yeah,
but the sell 360 solution is where we give them an equity release, and at that point in time, we take title. So both of our transactions are pretty clean as far as what happens. Um, but but we don't have any buyer programs yet. That is something that we are looking at. We just realized our renovate to stay package is picking up because a lot of people are deciding I can't sell for what I wanted to sell for, so I'll stay. Um, but hopefully by 26 midway through, we might have a buyer program that's more along the lines of what this question is around.
Well, it sounds like it actually could be the renovate to stay, because if the buyer ended up buying it for the smaller price from the seller who didn't want to go through all this, then they become the owner and in essence either, going to be the seller if they're going to flip it or
Right.
renovate to stay, I guess. So I guess
Yeah.
if maybe that answers the question, Manny, because then the buyer becomes the owner and I guess would be able to qualify for either one of those, right? The
Hmm.
pre-renovation pay at close, because if they're going to flip it, or the renovate to stay if they're going to
Yeah.
stay.
Sometimes our first check on our 360 program, if it's enough to buy out the homeowner, then there's some pretty creative things we can do. So it looks like Manny and I will connect offline and
Okay.
try to dissect this
Yeah.
particular situation a little more clearly. And if there's an appropriate update, we'll get it shared back with you and the team,
Yeah.
Travis.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good. Any other questions? Please throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we can go ahead and get wrapped up and on with our week. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And
Um, there's
what
a
I'll do is
question.
I'll get,
Sorry, there's a question quickly about permit issues. So we can help clear them, but we don't like absorb that cost, right? So it's going to cost to the scope of work of the project to correct them, right? And so there's an assessment and sometimes work that needs to be done to uncover the issue. And then, you know, if we, if we need to correct them, we can do what it takes to correct them and help handle that permit, um, the conversation and all the paperwork and all those types of things. That is something that we handle a lot. Um, it's just sometimes you can't tell if you have, something that's an issue or not until you take it apart. If that makes
yeah,
sense. But yes, we can do that for sure. Everything that we do is above board and licensed. We'll get into more detail, but aside from the pay at close solution, that is obviously kind of the meat and potatoes of our um, program, is the contractor network, which is all licensed, vetted, insured, backed. And what that does is it allows the project to have a high or kind of a perfect blend of speed, quality, and limited liability for your seller and around any surprises in the project. So the contractor network and the pay at close solution just allow for these renovations to be streamlined and more predictable. Because if you are going to do an investment for 50K or 200K, you want the predictability to be there. And that's what we help bring to the table when it's around, capitalizing from a residential flip, so to speak. But even doesn't mean it needs a full remodel either. No minimums or maximums.
cool.
I'm going
And
to drop
then,
my
yeah,
contact information, my email in the chat, and then I appreciate the time this morning, everybody. Thank you.
yeah, thanks for coming on. And we'll throw some information in the back office as well. Um, so if you ever need it, you can always go into the back office, riserealtyoffice.com and grab it. But if you need contact, there's an email there in the chat, or if you're missing that, then just let us know. We'll get you connected. So, all right. Appreciate you coming on and hope everybody has a great week. Give us a call if you need anything, and we'll be around. We'll talk to you
Cool.
later. All
Thanks, Travis. Thanks, everybody.
right, no problem.